Hey, how did you assess the effort up in Glasgow?
Yeah, effort-wise was awesome. I think it's the first time that as a club we've won there since 2009. First time we've won at that ground. And, you know, given the circumstances of both top sides with guys out into the international teams, and us to go up there in a pretty bitterly cold night and get a result like that's very pleasing for this group. So, absolute pass mark, and we're really happy.
What pleased you most about the forward effort? I thought your back row was particularly good.
Yeah, look, I think as a group we you could see that as the game was winding on, that we were starting to get inroads. We started making inroads and starting to grind them down. And I know that they had a red card, but I think the flow of that game was to a point where you could see that we were making inroads. And again, them having to tackle us with high ball and play, you know, in high possession stats. Again, it was taking its toll. So overall, very pleased. The set piece was very good from a forwards perspective, and we put a lot of pressure through their set piece as well.
How big do you see the futures of the likes of Cracknell and Underhill?
No, again, we've talked about these guys before, haven't we? And I think you know, it's by no accident that they are performing well. They train very hard. They prepare, you know, as best they can, and they leave no stone unturned. And I think that's a credit to those guys. But you know, what is good is that there are 2 of 8 guys in that pack that are working just as hard. And I think, you know, there's, from a learnings perspective, for us as a group, there's been a lot of, you know, in terms of game preparation and getting up for big moments like that, big games like that, there's been a lot of learning and a lot of, you know, stuff taken on, which we've probably been guilty of that in the past of not nailing. So that's pleasing. What's important though is that we've got to back it up this Friday. It means nothing. So, you know, that's what this group's focused on now.
Do the internationals just walk back in? How do they work in?
No, they don't just walk back in. Again, everybody's jersey's up for selection, and there's a lot of competition, as you can probably well tell. You know, obviously those guys are internationals. They're the best players in this country, or part of that group. So again, you know, a lot of those guys have earned the right. But again, it's competition's rife in the squad, so it's pleasing.
What do you think of Justin's efforts over the weekend?
Yeah. Look, obviously we were travelling back, so I didn't quite get all of the game. But look, again, to see him playing like he is pretty good, isn't it? So you know, it's a good result for Wales, I think.
And how did you feel your countryman went? You know, Kieran on his debut.
Yeah, look, I think fair play to him to be back in that type of weather on that night probably wouldn't be fun for anyone. It was pretty cold and there's a bit of standing around, but. Look, I think he's handled himself well on his first game, and again, just speaking to him this afternoon, it's just going to take a little while for him to get his head around how it's done. You know, it's a little bit different up here, but you know, he's a professional, and he'll be into his work, no doubt, and learning as much as he can, as fast as he can.
Do you see Justin, you know, as being potential Lions test back rower?
Oh, you know, I guess I'm sitting in the situation I'm sitting in. You know, as one of his coaches, I'd love to see him there. As a Kiwi, I don't know if I would, but you know, he's pretty good at the moment, isn't he? So, but listen, I hope, you know, as an Ospreys guy, you kind of hope you get as many in as you possibly can. But it's up to Getty, really, isn't it?
How does he sort of compare with some of these Kiwi open sides?
Yeah, I think it's you know, it's a bit of a different. Sevens are a bit different down there. It's a bit at the moment a bit more combative, but Tips holds his own in that area. And I think as you saw on the weekend, he can mix it up with the big boys, can't he? So I think he'll be fine.
Is Dimitri available for this weekend?
Again, we've just got to assess how we're going through. Obviously, Mafu's had a big part to play out in Glasgow. So again, we've just got to assess how we're going. We've got good depth through that position at tight head. So with Rodri, with Dan Suter in there as well. So again, we'll just do what's right. But to answer your question, again, it's a bit early to tell.
Yeah, why I asked it is, was his wife giving birth or something last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, has she given birth?
Yeah, his son, yeah.
Okay, great one.
Well, you played Leinster Ulster in Glasgow away. You must really like the position in the league.
It's good, isn't it? We were talking about it the other day, really. We've got Edinburgh to go and the 2 Italian clubs, and be in this position before Christmas with all the games sort of in and around here, called close. It's pretty pleasing. So, but again, like I said, Friday night is the next hurdle we've got to get through to make everything sort of count. So that's what we're focused on.
What did you make of them at the Dragons?
Yeah, I thought very combative, and again, I know that, you know, they've had opportunities, they've taken them, but again, we know how Edinburgh are going to play. They're very direct, they're very forward orientated. They're going to want to drive. They're going to want field position. So we've just got to make sure that we, you know, when we've got the ball, we're smart. You know, we're direct and, you know, we're urgent.
And the Dragons have line out problems, but Edinburgh completely dominated that area. Is that
Yeah.
something that concerned you, or do you think, well?
No. We've looked at Edinburgh defence. They've got a very good defence, you know. So they're very fast across the ground. They get good aerial pressure on. So again, the challenge is for any team that comes up against Edinburgh is to understand where your best options are to win it, but work hard on your technical side of it. And again, the speed into position and off the ground, those sorts of things. They keep coming back. That's your bread and butter. That's what we keep coaching week in, week out. So, but you know, again, you've got to make sure that you do your homework around their line-out defence for sure.
When the Wales players back, have they arrived back with a spring in their steps?
Absolutely.
Has that lifted the cap?
Yeah, look, I think that, you know, if you just had a look at training today, in the way that they're bouncing around and there's a real buzz in there, I think it's, you know, you can see clearly that they want to come back. They want to put the jersey on. They want to continue the momentum that the boys have created since they've been gone. And again, I think it's, you know, they're excited.
Like Sam and Keelan in particular, are they come back thirsty for more? What are they doing?
Well, they're both pretty level-headed and laid-back guys. You know, they don't get overly too excited, but they don't, you know, they're not massive, you know, chronic depressants either. So, you know, like at the end of the day, they've come back in. They want to, they can see the competition for jersey. So, you know, it's important for them to make sure they put their best foot forward.
And Josh Matavesi, one kick from four, maybe not his day at the office. Will he step down from that show now?
Well,
He's only had 10 minutes as well, so it probably need to get him on.
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, Josh has done a great job for us, but that's not his primary position, is it? And I think, you know, again, I can't really explain too much around the kicking stuff. Obviously, I'm not too skilled in that area myself, but as far as he goes playing 10, we haven't decided yet where we're going. But obviously, with Sam and Biggs coming back into the frame, then that's the obvious, isn't it, really? But look, he's filled a good gap for us while those boys have been on international duty.
What do you make of Tom O'Flaherty's game at the moment? Is it 3 tries from 2 games?
Is he?
Good stuff.
Is it? Oh, must be off the back of good forward play. No, sorry. Look, he's an exciting young guy, and he's genuinely taking his opportunities as they present. And you know, I get excited when I see young guys hungry and working really hard. And again, he's learning as much as he can, as fast as he can. And again, this experience that he's had out there will definitely put him in good stead for the future.
In the last 24 hours, we've heard from Martin Williams and Scrum Five talking about Rob Howland's position to be the head coach for Wales,
Okay.
suggesting perhaps it would be a good idea to go to maybe a regional club and be head coach to earn that position.
Okay.
I just wondered what your thoughts were on that, whether you agree that would be a good idea.
I've got no comment on that, to be honest. I'm sorry, I didn't know that Martin was gone out and said that. At the end of the day, I know they've had a hell of a lot of challenges, and it is a tough thing. But at the end of the day, they've won 3 out of 4 tests. So although the performance haven't been where they wanted to be, I'm sure that they'll want to improve that. The results speak for themselves, and that is actually international rugby at the end of the day, isn't it? And again, I think, look, those guys know better than anybody what needs to happen and what they need to get right. So, you know, I'd back those guys to get it sorted.
And you're not talking about that particularly, but you're someone who's moved from one hemisphere to another as a coach. What's that exposure done for you personally as a coach? Do you think that, you know, the 2 different hemispheres?
Oh, absolutely. That was part of the challenge of me coming here, was to learn how to, you know, again, having as many games in a season as you do up here, and to be working with some of the best in the game, you know, in terms of some of the British Lions that we've got here and the Welsh internationals. And you know, it is quite a big difference, just how the set piece is looked at. The forwards' roles in terms of phase play and stuff are quite similar, and the skills around the breakdown are similar, but it's just the set piece, the philosophies around attack and defence around that has been a really good learning for me. And again, I think I've been able to sort of bring a different sort of understanding or a different exposure to the players and the other coaching staff as well. It was around how to maybe do it sometimes differently, but I've definitely taken a hell of a lot of learning.
Last one from me then. I just wanted to know if there's an update on Dan Lydia at all, his knee, how long he might be out.
No, not that I'm aware of. I asked this morning about his knee, and we weren't in a position to get a decent diagnosis there, to be fair. So I don't know what the afternoon's presented to the medical team, but yeah, again, I'm sure that'll go out in the media as soon as we got an update on it.
Chris, how will you decide on which Wales players are involved or start? Will it be on a case-by-case basis?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. Obviously, workload for some guys through the campaign, through their campaign, through our campaign as well. So again, but again, we've just got to suss out what's the best for right now for Friday, and then also too with the longer view of what's around the corner in terms of the 2 European games, and then obviously that run of Scarlets, Dragons, Connacht. So again, we've just got to weigh that up. So it's a pretty important couple of weeks coming for us, and it's important that we get the selections right and the rotation of the squad right.